how estate agents can harness the power of video to get a bigger market share. Today, I'm joined by Suzanna Mavati and Brian Farrell from Acaboom, and they're here to talk to me about the power of video. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Why is it so important for estate agents to embrace video?
Can I just say, I talk about video to estate agents all the time, and I just want to say it splits a boom every single time. Half of them go, me, the other half hide under the desk. I find it's a really controversial subject.
Is it really 50-50? I would say it's more...
well, that's how they behave on when they're talking to me anyway, because I think some of them, they want to do it, but most of them are frightened of it. It's a very common thing. So I've actually got some stats here that I'll share.
Please do
but then
share
I want to bring that into how it sits in agency, because I mean, I was Googling this before I came, as you do. So it's 73% of consumers prefer learning about a brand through video. So high, which I think we probably all know, but still in agency, they're fighting to do it. But with a stat like that, can you afford not to? 91% of businesses use video as a marketing tool. That doesn't apply to, I don't think, in agency at all. No, that's a stat just generically for businesses. We're behind in estate agency with video. We are. However, there are some, again, like I say, me, and they do it. And some do it well, some do it badly. And like you said, most don't do it at all. But with those stats behind you, can you afford not to?
Brian, why do you think people are afraid to go on camera?
Why are they afraid? Messing it up, getting it wrong,
looking stupid. Yep.
There is a client coming to mind. They have 20 offices and they decided to embrace video, and they wanted videos to introduce the valuer to be used before the appointment. And they had a video team came in, and they were doing role plays over and over and over again. And I can remember this one guy, because he was telling me afterwards he was a valuer. He said, I must have walked in 12 times, sat down on the chair and started to speak, got it wrong. But he said, but it just became natural after you've done it so many times. And I think that's the secret. Nobody, I mean, you hear about Hollywood stars going on stage and they're nervous because they're on camera because they've not done that exact thing before. But once they've done it 101 times, then it just flows and it becomes natural. So I think I would urge anybody that's nervous to do it, to go out there, write a script, if that's your thing, of what you want to say, and just keep saying it over and over again, because after a while, those will be your words and you will just be using those, and they'll roll off the end of your tongue.
How did you get over your fear of video?
I don't think I ever really had a fear of video, but that's personal to me. I'm probably in the crowd that would say, yeah, I don't mind doing it. Like I said, that 50-50 split, I'm one of the ones that don't really mind doing it. Do I want to do it every single time? And not on a bad hair day. I mean, nobody does, do they, Brian? Not if you're having one of those.
Bad days.
But generally speaking, you know, I'm not too fussed, because I don't need to write a script and things generally.
Can I let you into a little secret?
Yeah.
I don't listen back to my own videos.
Well,
because
I don't like the way I sound and I don't like the way I look.
True story though. I haven't watched. Me and you have been on camera several times. I've not watched them. Okay. I've not. Right. But I don't mind doing them. But they are what they are.
I mean, I'll listen to the first 30 seconds. I mean, I'm very lucky that I have these edited by the wonderful Jodie. Love you, Jodie. But most agents don't actually need any video editing, because you just have to start and finish and crop the end, so you don't need to listen to yourself. You obviously need to just check the sound's okay. But no, I don't like the sound of my own voice.
I don't.
I've been really impressed with video. Is that, and this didn't happen to me, but somebody showed me the video. They had their Audi serviced, and the mechanic took them around what they did.
Yeah, they do that standard at Audi.
Well, apparently it's standard, but I've not.
Well, that's because you haven't got an Audi, probably.
I've
got an Audi, and
but
that's what
the point is, how impressive is that? But the quality of this mechanic or person walking around the car was exceptional, and I'm sure he did it 101 times before, and I'm sure it wasn't exceptional day one, and he may well have had some training. But the point was, for the recipient on the receiving end, you know, point of differentiation, you just think, wow.
I'm going to disagree slightly, which is nothing new between me and Brian, but ultimately a lot of the time with video as well, especially they're doing personalised video, as in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it was a pleasure to see your property today. Almost, they've just met you. And you've almost just got to get on with it a bit. Trying to get it absolutely perfect every single time when you're doing a personalised one on the fly, I would say it doesn't have to be perfect in that scenario.
Well, let me share this stat with you, that the average Watkinsofa chat has between 15 and 18 ums and ers in it. There you go, there's one. There's another one. There's 3. And the magic thing is this, is, you know, if you want it perfect, it never will be. I mean, you're on a pitch. If you go and and let me think about it, do you ever stop the ballot and go, can I start again? No, you just get on with it.
And that's what I'm saying. When you are trying to put one together in that manner, it doesn't have to be perfect. They've just met you. It's that effort and that outstanding way of doing it to get your messages across afterwards.
As long as you're yourself, be genuine, you'll be absolutely fine, because it's going to increase your leads, it's going to increase your conversion, and it's going to increase your reach. Well, what sort of videos should people be doing? Give me some examples of what agents could be doing.
So there's a few examples of how I would recommend it be used. I mean, there's lots actually, but one of the key ones I'd recommend is a video before you get to the meeting, a pre-appointment video from the valuer introducing yourself, sorry. And indeed, sometimes the business owner kind of doing an overview of the business can work quite nicely.
That's a nice one. I don't see that one as often as we should.
You don't see as many of them.
But if the business owner steps in and said, I'd really appreciate you coming to my company and letting our team come to you and talk to you about marketing your property, that would resonate with me. If I watched that, I think, hey, this is good.
I have seen a couple of those, but they're not as popular. But at least the valuer introducing themselves is key. Any of our clients I know that use video in that way will openly say to you, it's almost like when they get to the appraisal, it's like a second meeting, because they've already met them. It's broken down the barriers.
And if you're not meeting the
both decision makers, key. Yeah, if you're not meeting both of them, and we'll come on to the next one then, after the appraisal.
Just before you do that, you're less likely to have it cancelled if they've already...
Yeah, 20% less likely, actually. 20% less likely to cancel.
There's another stat as well, isn't there? There's 59% of people that watch those videos go on to list.
That's correct.
That's phenomenal. So you've not only got a 20% chance of it not being if the other agent's brilliant and is trying to get the homeowners to cancel the appointment because they don't need you to come round an hour later, there's 20% less chance of that happening. But if that video's been watched, that's 59% of people that watch those videos go on to instruct that agent. That's a stat that one of our clients came back and gave us.
It absolutely is, yeah. And I can't recommend, like I say, a lot of people are frightened of it, but honestly, you've only got to record that kind of thing once as well. It can be a professional job in that case if you want it to be, but ultimately just introducing yourself, again, talking about stories, tell them about your experience, who you are, where you live. You want them to trust you, know you, and make that whole appointment easier for you when you get there.
Let's do the follow-up and let's do the testimonials.
So follow-up. I mean, some people, again, will stage a video for after a market appraisal, but I have to say the best ones are personalised ones. Michelle Gallagher's a great one for this, actually, at JDG. Also, again, Matt Bulldog, Charles David Casson, he does them well too. And essentially, this is where they don't have to be perfect. And they're not. I've watched them.
I bet they weren't when they first did their first ones.
No, but what I mean is even now when they're doing them, there's sometimes a bit of background noise.
What is particularly interesting is Michelle wouldn't actually do video until I held her hand and coached her and realised that actually all the ums and ers and she was just worried what people thought of her. She thought she sounded funny. She didn't like the way she looked. I told her to get on with it and deal with it. And now look at her. She's amazing, and she's teaching me how to do things.
Yeah, and she's won a state agency of the year twice, only agent to do so. So absolutely. So she's great at them, but ultimately, again, making it personalised to that client. Dear Mr. Lovely to meet you today, Brenda. Sorry I didn't meet you, Steve. Already, we've only seen one decision maker, but we're introducing ourselves to the other decision maker. And then we can give a verbal wrap round, if you like, of what happened in the appraisal, why you've appraised it that way, what you think stands out about it. There is nothing more personal.
I can't imagine that being done in an email, in writing.
You can't do.
You just described.
You can't.
It was great to meet you, Steve. Sorry I didn't meet you, Brenda. You couldn't put that in an email and it'd be as powerful.
You can, but it's not as powerful.
Don't worry about the coffee or the suit. I'll pick up the dry cleaning bill.
Well, how many coffees have you spilled at appraisals?
Let's go. Yeah. Well, he always likes to slip that one in. What about video testimonials? Let's just do that.
Oh, another one, yeah. So every agent has testimonials. It's one of those things they always bring to the table of a point of differentiation. But again, what differentiates the testimonial? A video can make a huge difference. It's more personal. Having your vendor or landlord or both on camera saying about why they chose you and what a great service you gave is far better than Mrs. K from Lichfield said this. It's bringing it to life again. And that's mainly what we're talking about throughout today. Bringing to life what you've got to say, not just saying it, showing it. And that's what a video does.
As well. In a video, it's easier to make it entertaining.
And that's the magic thing. You're getting your message across, and the most powerful way to communicate with someone is visually. And this is interesting. The subconscious doesn't know any difference to meeting someone face to face than a video. Did you know that?
I didn't know.
And that's why it works so well before.
Because you actually meet
because when
the
you get
subconscious.
there, it is like a second meeting.
I've just had a good idea for a testimonial video.
I dread to think.
I think if you've got all your testimonials together, all your people, and you just got them to use the buzzwords, amazing, fantastic, and you just kept getting all
Do a
these people.
montage, yeah.
Is that the word?
Yes.
Okay.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the power of video. Thank you for your time today, guys.
Thank you.